안녕하세요. Hello, everyone. So, my name is Alex Simonovich, and I'm Director of Software Engineering in Delivery Hero. Delivery Hero, I'm leading EdTech Tribe. And earlier this year, my team had a great opportunity to work with the Vuva team on one very impactful project. So today I'd like to share with you what we have done so far and what we achieved so far. However, before going into project details and what we were working on, I'd like to share a few things about Delivery Hero and EdTech overall. So, what is Delivery Hero? I call it like Delivery Hero is a family of the brands that operates globally from Seoul to Buenos Aires. There are smaller brands, there are bigger brands in the family. So, for example, Food Panda is very well known brand in APAC region. Talabat and Hunger Station, our leaders in MENA region. Piridosia, leader is Latin America. Buva joined Delivery Hero family in 2021. And as we know, Buva is a Korean leader. Recently, also Global has joined us with a high presence in Europe and Africa. Let me probably show you it in a bit different way. So this is the our Delivery Hero footprint globally. And altogether, at scale, we can say that we are operating in more than 70 countries right now. We are making 1 million, more than 1 million daily orders. And we have more than 500,000 restaurants and shops that are actively using our platform. This is massive and growing every day. Um, then interesting thing, this is quite a big organization and it's every time quite a challenge how to run big organization, how to operate it. And, there are two very known, very famous models. One is central, trying to centralize as much as possible and be quite efficient, especially on the cost of ownership. But this approach usually quite slow. There is another approach when you are not centralizing a lot of things and a lot of ownership stays in the local hands and shoulders. And it's usually quite fast, but might be very expensive. So, and Delivery Hero actually trying to leverage the best from the both worlds, from the both paradigms. There are obviously things that local brands can do much better than the central organization. Local brands knows much better the clients, the market, the ecosystem, and also having a lot of ownership in the local hands make you move very fast on the local markets and enable you to innovate. While on another hand, in the central, we can find the concerns that are pretty much the same for all the markets and for all the brands. And we can basically build the solution that will be effective and that will be served for all the markets. EdTech is actually one of such solution that we are building in the central organization and that serves for pretty much all our brands and all our markets. Let's go a bit deeper and try to understand what is EdTech solutions and what we are doing. So one of the products that we have, we call it display ads. Um, this is the product that helps basically our vendors, our advertisers to reach their target audience, or reach it, and make them the audience aware of your brand, of your offerings, whatever is needed. Usually, these kind of messages are delivered in the form of the banners, in the form of the videos, and form of the stories. Um, then we have another product, which is we call internally Joker. And in order to explain it, I will try to share the use case. Vendor makes a deal, and he makes a deal with the idea that he or she they want to attract new users or retain existing users that, for example, by some reason stopped making orders on or started to order lower pace. So the vendor is creating a deal, and we are helping to promote this deal to the right audience, so that vendor can remind about himself and return back or attract new users. And the third one, which actually the topic of my talk, is sponsored listings. Sponsored listings, this is so-called consideration product, and the major goal of this product is actually increase number of orders for the vendors. We in EdTech, we are trying to find the best time, best audience, and best context to offer restaurant or shop, or to consider the restaurant or shop for users. So we use industry standard name EdTech, which is advertisement technologies. But in Delivery Hero, EdTech has its own specifics and own challenges. And in order to, obviously every product, every solution has challenges and things to solve. But I would like to share with you one major one that actually we are thinking of every day. We are discussing every day how to make better, and actually it's every time on top of our mind. In order to understand this challenge, together with the values that we are bringing, I will share a bit on personas or stakeholders that we are serving for. Obviously, one of them is vendors. So vendors, restaurants or shops, they every time looking for for opportunities, for the solutions, how to expose themselves, how to attract new customers or retain existing one, and overall how to grow their business. Our solutions actually helping vendors to achieve these goals, but it also comes with the responsibilities. What if vendors will spend money on promotions and won't get any orders? Or what if they will get increased number of orders, but return on investment go down? So no vendor obviously will be happy about such a service, and no vendor would love to pay for such a service. Then we have Delivery Hero. Altogether, Delivery Hero, all brands of the Delivery Hero need such solution, because current financial climate, puts pressure on all the companies, on the whole industry, on a lot of different industries. And basically, I think it's not a secret to everyone that, sustainable business, sustainable enterprise have to be profitable, have to make money. EdTech in this context is one of the key levers to be profitable and to be sustainable in the long run. And here we also discuss responsibilities, because building the central solution and solving for the very big brands, for the businesses, we making them rely on us. And it means that we should both deliver good solutions, and also we should ensure that the quality of these solutions are on the proper level and there are no issues of using them. And you might think that this picture is complete, but it's not. It's incomplete, because there is a third persona that we never forget about. This is our users. Users of our platform, they want to have really positive experience, and I think we are contributing to their positive experience in the way that we are trying to, we are helping them actually to find new experiences, to find new restaurants near them, or try new dishes, try new kitchens. So this is new cuisines. This is everything, that we are doing. Also, I think that because of our services, users might minimize time they are spending on buying and find the good options quite faster. But what will happen if we start promoting restaurants dishes just randomly? For example, pasta for the breakfast. Or what will happen if we will promote irrelevant, cuisine to our users? So, for example, steaks for vegetarians. Or what will happen if we promote low rating restaurants to our users and knowing that, for example, they are rating 2 out of 5? Well, these are the things that will definitely contribute negatively to the user experience. And in our highly competitive market, it will be the matter of time when user will be disappointed and will be looking for other solution and will eventually will go to competitor. So altogether, I think that this is one of the major challenge that we are trying to solve. We are trying to find a balance and serve all the three major groups of the stakeholders or personas and make sure that all of them are benefiting from our solution. How we do that? Well, um, on the high level, we can say that the vendors they they need a conversion. The consumers they need to see relevant things and deliver to be profitable. So to make it happen, we are employing technologies, and data science is one of the things that we heavily depend on. We create a lot of different ranking models. We make a lot of experiments every day. In every market, we are pretty much running experiments to find the best balance. So making experiments, checking the results, and seeing that whether all the three major stakeholders are benefiting, then if so, then great. So we are proceeding. And this is one of the things that also we never stop doing. So we every time trying to make something better and better and again. And because of our global position, we also benefiting. We can experiment differently in different markets, and we can exchange experiences as well. So, and whenever you see our promoted foods, it means that behind them, it's not just a random algorithm, but it's algorithm that take into account a lot of different information to make sure and trying to predict the best for the user. So I think we need to go back to the main topic of this talk is actually the goal or our project. So the goal was basically to integrate and enable sponsored listings for Biomin app in Biomin app. By 2022, we already got quite an experience in that. We integrated our solutions with many platforms and entities in Delivery Hero. However, in Vuva case, in case of Biomin app, we also had a few specifics. So some of them were more like a functional, and in Korea we faced privacy protection law, where, for example, we were not able to receive latitude and longitude of the specific user when he's making the order. However, we found out another solution that we don't need precise information about. We can do it with the geohashes, and it became a solution that works right now. Then we were quite surprised about the requirement to have a daily cycle of reporting and billing. In many of our markets, majority of our markets, we have a longer cycle, weeks, sometimes even months. So here requirements became stricter, and actually it was quite a challenge. And still, I think we are still in the process of transformation because weekly and monthly cycle was given us a bit more time, and we were a bit more relaxed. While you need to provide reports and billing daily, it means that responsibilities are higher, and the solution needs to work much better. On top of that, there were a few specific fraud prevention requirements that were not present in our cases, so we required a new development, and we implemented that. This is a bit on the functional side on the requirements, but there were a couple more things that I'd like to mention. So project teams, the teams that were working on this project and on integrating this solution were uh, located in three different countries, but also in different continents. So central team, most of our team were located in Berlin, Germany. However, part of our central team is also based out of Istanbul, Turkey, and obviously the WUA Biomin team is located in Seoul. And you can see that the time difference, especially between Seoul and other location, is quite high. From my experience, the worst case is actually 12 hours difference. This is basically where you do not have at all overlap with the other teams. So in our case, we were more lucky. We had a better overlap, but still it come to with the certain challenges that on our Western side, we required to wake up a bit earlier and start our working day a bit earlier. On the Eastern side, on the Seoul side, people were staying at work later hours in order to have an overlap. So, but together we had own goal and we were working, I think, very well with the idea in mind that we are working for the first time. We don't know each other. We don't know how the things will go. We did our best prediction and we tried to do our best to with the high focus on what we need to achieve and basically supporting each other and trying to understand each other. I'd like to share a bit, um, interesting things about our collaboration. I think this project for me was quite unique. I found that um, collaboration right now is actually taking a bit different flavor. And in case of working with Woover, is also had a couple interesting specifics. So obviously there were certain tools that we used, and one of them was documentation. But when we say documentation, I do not assume, I do not talk about documentation with that we have every time and we can share. My team is still quite young. We were formed not so far away. So our documentation wasn't in the best shape. But in order to make things easier for all the parties, we actually decided to create just one document where we described all the steps and all the details on how we should integrate and what are the expectations and what are the interfaces, APIs, where to find additional documentation and additional details. I think it was quite useful and helpful because it was a key entry point, and then also taking into account the functionality of Google Docs, we were collaborating, exchanging messages there, fixing the things if something is wrong. So it was quite convenient. And right now we use this documentation as a base for our future projects. Then obviously Slack. Slack became a very important instant messaging tool. So really, we spend a lot of time in slacking each other and discussing the things. And before making this talk, I found out that right now in our joint Slack group between EdTech and Wuva, we have more than 100 members today. Obviously, some of them already not that active, or majority of them not that active, but this is all the people that at least something contributed to the project, or at least were accountable for some piece. Then Zoom became also, in our after COVID world, it became very important tool for all of us. But here I'd like to mention that in order to make things easier and in order to address issues faster, we agreed to have daily sessions. Actually, we started not from the daily cycle. We started from 2 times a week, then 3 times a week. But in there was a big period of time where we were meeting with Wuva team every day for 2 hours. And most of the time we were spending all these 2 hours discussing details and trying to basically from our side, making sure that on the Wuva side, everything is clear. Wuva was asking a lot of the questions of our team and, clarifying details. Then when the things started to, work together and integrate together, we started to test them. And it was quite a good decision. Yes, it's quite a challenging. And as I already mentioned, so for us, it was every time early morning. For Vuva team, it was late evening, but that was helpful. I think it was one of the key reasons, or one of the key to succeed with the project and actually not to stuck anywhere. So we tried to address the things quite fast. Then there was a new experience to me because we all speak different languages, and to make things understandable for all the parties, on all our meetings we had a translator, which to me was quite a new experience. Never had it before, but I want to say that translators were super good, because I was in the beginning, I was thinking how they will deal with all the technical terminology, all the technical words, and even, certain things that are not that technical, but more like a slang, but they deal exceptionally well. And I'm very thankful for all the translators who were supporting us during those long meetings. Finally, there was interesting one. It's a drawing. And because sometimes there were a couple of times when we were looking on each other in Zoom and it was clear. It seems like we're not 100% aligned. We do not understand everything very well. We are not confident. So what we can do, when, we speak different languages, no, nothing helps. We started to draw. And it was amazing experience, because this is the language that understand everyone everywhere. So drawing can understand everyone. We were drawing, and it then helped everyone to understand the details of what we are discussing. So one of the challenges was attribution and geo-targeting things. So, and we were basically drawing in the online paint, and that solved all the things. Yeah. By the way, you probably can notice that there is no email in the list, and I find it surprisingly. No. We used emails, but comparing to 5 or 10 years ago, it seems like email doesn't play the big role as it was before. So right now, it's kind of more goes to the Slack and to the Zoom communication. Let's also cover a bit of the technical challenges. So I shared a bit of the statistics so to show you our operational numbers, probably the major metrics. So globally, we are serving 100 million requests daily. So it's quite huge and it's growing every day. But what is interesting that nowadays Vuva actually is contributing pretty much 28%, and it's also growing. So this is massive, and we were expected that. We knew that Biomin is a very popular application in Korea, although it was still not super clear whether it will be so massive or not. So right now we can say, yeah, it's a huge to handle that. On the other side, we also check, the peak times or max requests per second. So basically, yeah, you can see that overall globally, we have a bit more than 2,000 requests per second. And in Vuva case, it was almost 1,000. It's 44% of our global numbers. So again, it's a quite huge number. But we were kind of, because we knew that the lot might grow everywhere, every time, and especially when on board in such a big markets like Korean. We are doing from time to time performance tests. Currently, we are ready to handle 8,000 So basically, with that, we feel quite confident, and I think this is really for such an application. This is a great practice that you are testing the things in advance and you are sure that you can handle the lot. Number of requests, it's not the only thing. For us, it's very important to keep latency as low as possible, because having high latency will definitely make a negative impact on the experiences and on integrations. Our approach for the latency is kind of twofold. One of the things that we are doing is making basically regional deployments. So basically all the servers that are serving ads for Woowa, they are hosted in Seoul. And with that, we definitely minimizing latency. But then there is another side, it's implementation and development concern, where we need to carefully track the metrics and make sure that they are under the certain threshold. So in general, we are testing, and our internal commitment is to keep latency above 50 milliseconds. So you can see that globally right now we are handling 26, and in Vuva we have 9. But there is a note here that Vuva right now is using not the most advanced algorithms. We are going to launch them a bit later. And with that algorithm, I think that the latency will grow, but our challenge and our goal will be still the same, to keep it under 50 milliseconds, and the lower, the better. So, long story short, one day in the end of the April, it was 28th of April, as far as I remember, we actually launched sponsored listings in BuyMe app. So here on the screen, you can actually see the listings that are serving we are through our algorithms, through our servers, and this is where the outcome of our job became visible. So, and for, for many people, the day of the launch is actually the point of success, and maybe the point where we can relax. Hard work is already behind. However, when you're building the software product, it's actually, for me, it's just the beginning, because after the launch date, you switch more in operational mode, where you're kind of monitoring carefully your solution, and you're making sure that solution works well, that metrics are fine. And in our case, because we integrated to Vuva services, it becomes even a bit more complicated, because we have a Vuva team who they will often see issues even before us and report to us, and then we need to react, and all together we need to continue working to make sure that we are providing the best service for our users, vendors, and for delivery here overall. One of the things that I'd like to emphasize and mention here is that when we launched our product, the first 2 weeks were made free of charge. So it was a trial period for all the vendors. Primarily, there was a product and business decision behind to make it happen. However, I found it also very nice practice for engineering. I will be very honest with you. During these 2 weeks, we were able to fix a bunch of issues, but we knew that even if there is an issue, even if something is wrong, then there will be no negative impact on anyone, because this is trial. Nobody will pay for that service, and we have quite safe time to make sure that our solution work well, and the data is quality in of a good quality, and the performance metrics are good. Under the same circumstances, in the next time, I will consider doing the same. I will run a bit of the trial period, and I will see how it works in a real life without any impact to anyone. So this is where we started, and what I wanted to share with you as well. It's more like one of the graphs that I'm checking pretty much every day, 4 months later. So on this graph, you can see clicks count of the day. Obviously, it's not all the clicks, it's only billable clicks, which we served and converted. And you can see that we started somewhere below 250K. Right now, we are already have a days where we're very close to 1 million clicks a day, billable clicks. And I think by the time when you will see this recording, we already reach 1 million, which will be very, very nice milestone and achievement of both the teams. And by the way, not only engineering, but product and commercial people as well. And this is a team job, and there are a lot of different roles involved into that. It's not only about billable clicks, that this is just one of the metrics. We also check in orders, number of orders, and we're checking the financial KPIs. I will leave this topic for product and commercial people, but I can assure you that they are growing also steadily in the same pace, in the same rate as our clicks. Yeah, so it was my first experience working with Korean people, with a Korean team, and overall in Korean organization. And many times from different parts of Delivery Hero and from the Korean leadership, I was asked about my impressions, how it was, what went well, and what can be done better. So I'd like to leverage this momentum, and I want to say a couple things that were really, you know, surprising to me, or which impressed me to some extent. And one of the things that I immediately would like to mention as point number one is attention to details. So just to understand you that, as I mentioned, we integrated our product with the many markets, and it's not the first time we are working. But we all our teams were impressed to um, how our team was attentive to details, and how our team wanted to understand all the algorithms, all the flows, all the corner cases, how our solution works and how it fits, the needs. There were even couple of cases where we required to go back and double check source code because we forgot how it works, because it was implemented long time ago already, 2-3 years from now. So this is definitely amazing. And me as a leader in the of the team that is building the solution, we were really impressed, and we were very happy to have such a counterpart who are really interested to understand the details and how the things work. Another point that I definitely can say is Vova team is very well organized. I found the processes that were actually mostly proposed by the Vova team. They were quite good. We liked it, and we were more like a following. It's important to understand that our teams, my teams and Vova team that we work together, we have a bit different culture of work. And I would say that we are not as process focused as Vova team, but we found for that type of the project, it was very convenient and very nice. So really amazed about that. Then extra caring about users. So caring about users and overall caring in one of our value in Delivery Hero. And I cannot say that any other brand doesn't care or we don't care. But in in various situations, and during different times, communicating and collaborating with Vova, I would say that Vova or Korean team is paying extra attention and have extra care about the users. I even learned what does it mean voice of customer, and I found it very nice actually definition of customer request, so how we call it usually here in the western side of the world. So yeah, I found it really, really important, and it seems like um, Korean team is really ready to handle every request, every voice, and try to deliver the experience to everyone at the best. So that's really amazing. Then this is something that I can say to both to Korean team and to both Berlin and not both triple teams. So basically, the teams in Seoul, team in Turkey, and team in Berlin, all of them were very hardworking professional. That's why I think that project went pretty much smooth. There was no any major escalations or conflicts. We were focused on one goal, and obviously, I think that attitude was right, but also we all together saw that other parts are working hard to deliver the things to achieve the goal. And that also, was quite motivating to all the other parties. And yeah, I can say that in Korea, I saw very hardworking people, and it was a pleasure to work with them. One bonus item that I also noticed is that when the founder cares about UX, even small things in the organization, they also kind of have quite interesting and nice user experience. I was amazed by the tracker that Korean team created in the Google Sheets. It was so nice and so convenient. So I was really, really impressed with the work. And while I was creating a couple times my own trackers, I understand that people invested quite a lot of time to make it and convenient and nice. So yeah, that's probably the last one, and I also quite impressed. With that, it's probably the end of my story. I think it was quite nice, definitely successful and impactful project. We continue working together, and we are right now discussing more other projects. So maybe in a year, I will be able to share a bit more how we progressing, how we improving things, and what else we'll deliver it for to Korean markets, and what we done together with the Korean team. Um, yeah, so in the end, I'd like to say to you, 감사합니다. Thank you very much for your attention, and bye bye.